Mahalo nui loa for supporting Kauai Community Radio.
I wish that I was governor or set my life free. What? You wanna test us? My crew grow big. I mean, this is the island that we must live. So is it hard for you, America, to give us back of what we own, or you'll be overthrown? Cause this my homegrown, so leave it all alone. I mean, I got the microphone and I preach to what is known. I reap what you sown and now you took a throne. Cause all these years my people moan and groan.
You can't hide it. Trying to keep it real, but you know you can't hide it. Don't deny it. You know what you're trying to do. Is it worth it? Trying to get the world, but you lose your soul. Talking riddles, but we know how the story goes.
Yes, we know how the story goes. What's ours is yours for the taking. Anyway, my name's Kaiulani. I'm a sovereign Hawaiian national living in the Hawaiian Kingdom, illegally occupied by the United States military-industrial complex. If you don't understand what I'm talking about, check it out on hawaiiankingdom.org. And we're going to start our show in the usual way by singing our Hawaiian national anthem, Hawai'i Pono'i. Wherever you are, stand tall, stand proud, and sing it loud. Because you know why? We're still here. There are still Hawaiians left in Hawaii. We are the Kanaka.
He aina nui ka manuai ho vai ka mana upono ka pono no na mea ulu ka me kai o mai ke aloha o mai ka mahalo a e ko mo I mako maloko nei a hele uvale no way yeah.
Conspired with some missionaries and forced us into slavery.
Hakua o Kalani, oh hear our plea, protect us from harm and set us free. pray to thee. Grant us your wisdom and serenity.
Then in 1941, the planes came roaring in, and martial law was declared on the land, and they took our families away.
Akua o Kalani, oh hear our plea. Protect us from harm and set us free.
And in 1959, constitutional democracy robbed Hawaii of its independence and took away the chance to be free.
Akua o Kalani, we pray to thee. Grant us your wisdom and serenity.
Now in 1994, the story has been told. A presidential apology to make the nation whole.
Akua o Kalani, we pray to thee. Akua o Kalani, oh hear our plea. Akua o Kalani, set us free. Akua o Kalani, we pray to thee. Akua o Kalani, oh hear our plea. Akua o Kalani, set us free. Akua o Kalani, we pray to thee. Akua o Kalani, oh hear our plea. Akua o Kalani, set us free. Akua o Kalani, we pray to thee. Akua o Kalani.
Well, the day when they said that the warriors will live forever, no, they have gone, and they're only living in the legends now. You can hear the spirits crying in the wind, lost without a trace at all, left their writings on the wall, famous battles of long ago. Where did all the people go? I wish I knew what happened there. Who and who were famous men? Tell me what the chances are to see them live among the stars. Come on, Kani, won't you blow? Tell me what I want to know.
More deadly than the treacherous and treasonous crimes foreign insurgents perpetrated against the Kingdom of Hawaii is the arrogance with which they raise their swords. They have betrayed a loving people who had welcomed, sustained, and fattened them with the arrogant notion that we were a people incapable of self-determination, regardless of the historical truth that we had sustained a spiritual, happy, and healthy existence long before their ancestors had ever set foot on our pristine shores. We and only we know best what is good for us and the land we love, worship, and cherish. We had educated our children to consider only the best of both worlds and to be fruitful in all their works, that we may all prosper. But the government which stole my throne is interested only in prosperity for the few. Instead of my people serving the land that gave us all life, they are enslaved by the system that serves my people cultural death. While imprisoned by the foreign insurgents, I began to translate the Kumulipo, our ancient creation chant. For me, this daily work was an affirmation of who we were and longed to remain. Outside my prison walls, I knew our children were being beaten for speaking Hawaiian at school, that our spiritual and traditional medical practitioners were being driven to the mountains to hide in caves, that our sacred lands were being desecrated, our elders berated, their native tongue silenced out of fear for the children. Upon my release, I went to Washington, D.C. to appeal to Congress to deny annexation and return our people to their rightful place. But the prayers of my people, nor the pleadings of their queen, could penetrate the cold steel hearts of the mere men who thought little of the rights of God's people. I am old now, powerless to help my beloved children who come to my empty breasts for nourishment, who gaze through the iron fences surrounding their ancestral lands, my beloved children whose eyes are dull, their songs silenced. But I know this: as long as there is one among them who knows the truth of their birthright, he will teach another, who in turn will teach another, and on, and my people will rise and once again stand as the nation they once were, the Hawaiian nation.
Song going out to all those who came before us, leading the way, paving the way for us. And for all those who follow, all the way to Hawaii 3000. Could see what happened to the land that they once ruled. Would they smile at what they see? Hey y'all, where they used to pray, Kahakai where they used to play. Now they see no fences telling them to keep away.
All the fighting that the king had done.
He sees his kingdom now divided, everybody trying to be number one. Every group got their own agenda, they all say that the way is better. Self-determination can be achieved if we all just come together.
Tears would come from each other's eyes.
Look around the army, how would rally when we hear their cries. Our prince's will is not fulfilled, then he cuts like a knife, and the queen says at the palace where she was kept a prisoner for more than a year of her life.
Could you just imagine if they came back?
And saw so many of Wakane and Wahine losing the fight with ice and crack. They'd see so little pure Hawaiians left and wonder, will there be any of us left with the blood 100 years from now? We could tell them there's so many things to blame it on, but can we truly say we did our best to make sure we live on? So I'll do my part right now and make sure that the world will hear voices of my people standing proud and singing clear.
Who am I?
like scars on our faces.
Tell me what's the basis, man, for killing my oasis? If you was gone for a while, you wouldn't recognize these places. Cause these people politic like they can't tie their shoelaces.
I see you in your two faces, your screw faces.
Wake up and realize that I'm talking true cases. I ain't a racist, but it's a desecrating land that's sacred.
Cause for hatred,
It's been building up and now I just can't take it.
I just can't take it.
And so I'm speaking my peace in hopes that we can keep it peaceful. Cause if we go to war, I'ma rise up and die for my people. I cry for my people, spit this message for my people. From the pastor to the steeple, pray for blessings for my people. I live for my people, I die for my people. I make music for my people to make a difference for my people.
For all people of Hawaii.
Sing, come on.
And political posers. No need for mourners, no need for common informers. My people's pain and suffering's already enormous. Can you picture this? Picture my people before us living the day. They be like this, living is horrors. Gotta get away, back to the land that restored us. Let me hear you say, come I need your help with this chorus. We got to live long and strong. Keep Hawaiian lands in our hands. We got to know our rights from wrong. Come on, we got to live long and strong. Keep Hawaiian lands in our hands. We got to know our rights from wrong, so we can be the best that we can.
How would they feel? Would they smile, be content, or just cry? Cry for the gods, cry for the people, cry for the land that was taken away. And in the end, you'll find Hawaii. Uama ke o kaina, ikapono Hawaii. Uama ke o kaina, ikapono Hawaii.
One more time, hello.
Uama ke o kaina, ikapono Hawaii.
Last one, here we go, everybody.
Uama ke o kaina,
This song's going out to my Tita Louise this morning. This is our favorite chant. It's the prophecy chant. What is above will come down. What is below will go up.
Another man broke his word. Another man broke his word. Oh, another man broke his word. And the truth could not be heard. Somebody's gonna have to pay. Oh, somebody's gonna have to pay. Somebody's gonna have to pay. And it looks like you and me. sky. Oh, and I see that rain fall from the sky. Oh, and I see that rain fall from the sky. I get down on my knees and I cry. Another man broke his word. Another man broke his word. Oh, another man broke his word. And the truth could not be heard.
Kaiulani Mahuka with the Ballad of the Broken Word. Just for you this morning, especially for you, my sister Louise. Whew, the voice of truth in the crowd every time. You're listening to KKCR Hanalei Ke'ekua Kilauea. I'm Kaiulani with the Songs of Sovereignty, and I'm having some small kind technical difficulties. I'm not sure what's going on in this studio, but we either have a saboteur or a ghost. Anyway, there's a perception that I hate visitors. There is a perception out there that I hate visitors and that I hate the people who have migrated here from wherever else, that people are not from here. Because I routinely speak out against certain things that are occurring in our homeland that are really destructive to our people, our culture, and most importantly, to our Aina. So there's a perception that, that I'm just this hardcore hater. But the truth is, I just telling the truth. So I want to address a post that I did yesterday. And I posted about Princeville being the Ha'ole center of Hawaii. And I'd like to address that. First of all, I want to discuss that word ha'ole. It makes people go nuts when you say that word. It really means breathless, okay? You don't have to it doesn't mean white supremacist, although we do attach that to them because anyone coming from that racist mentality is certainly without a breath in them. But my whole thing that I was thinking about, because I work in Princeville every day. Our radio station is here in Princeville. And yes, there are some very good people that live here in Princeville. There really are. There's a lot of people here that work hard for the environment, that volunteer many, many hours of their time. So when I posted that Princeville is the Ha'ole heart of Poor America, hashtag Poor America. First of all, I want to address my hashtag Poor America. I use that hashtag when I think of the dumbing down and all of the horrible things that continue to occur stateside to Native peoples, to people of color, and to actually all Americans who we find ourselves at the mercy of the ruling class elite. And some of us might be more fortunate than others, but still, it's a poor America thing because there is no more control of government. The government is not by the people, for the people. The American people have actually lost their entire grip on their country. So that's what I'm talking about when I say poor America. And yeah, you might say I'm part of it, yes, by duress. But for me, as a Native person, it has always been bad. It has always been bad. It's just degrees of bad. So when I posted about Princeville, an immigrant woman who lives here and has taken a Hawaiian name chimed in that I am wrong to paint Princeville as Haole. Okay, first of all, if you've ever taken a drive-through here and just tried to get through the Princeville parking lot without having a stroke, that's what I'm talking about. It leaves you breathless. It leaves you breathless. There is no feeling of aloha. Okay? So that's what I'm referring to. And you shouldn't mistake my directness for racism or sharpness or hatefulness. I'm just being honest and direct. And I'm lucky that I can do that, because it's a really tough thing to come out and say what you see in front of you without really taking a lot of criticism from the very people who have actually contributed to the demise of our home. And, you know, rah-rahing the development. It's like I was told to be grateful that it's here and not there. And that, you know, we had saved Hanalei coastline from being developed. I have to say to you, honest Americans, if you really love this place, you would not be churning it out as Disneyland. Really. This would be a place like it was when I was a child growing up here. Rural farmlands where families actually could thrive. We are now the Disneyland and the escape hatch for everyone from away to come here and feel better. And that is why I don't hate the visitor industry per se, because our place here has a function on the planet. We create happiness in human beings. At the same time, understand that you're visiting here and you come here to get happy at the cost of our happiness here. So I just wanted to address that post this morning. I want to assure you that I'm very open about my love-hate relationship with the visitor industry. There are many, many, many good people that I have heart-to-heart dialogues with while I'm working, driving America's wealthy and fortunate people that get to come here for vacation. I get to make these connections as a Kanaka, as not a part of the Disneyland, but the true person standing in front of you, the Hawaiian, how we feel about watching what's happening in our homeland. And I think that if you're not from here, it would be really hard for you to understand that. No matter how many years you've been here, if you weren't raised that Haloa is your closest living relative, the taro plant, you're not going to know what we're talking about. You're not going to know what we're talking about. And for people to say that we should not be voicing our opinions, our own opinions of what we see happening in our homeland, well, I would suggest to you that therein lies the problem. That we are very much oppressed and very much dissed if we, the host culture, ever give voice to what we see happening to our Aina, to our beloved home.
The views and opinions expressed during this program are those of the speaker and do not necessarily reflect those of KKCR, its management, staff, board, members, volunteers, or underwriters.
Oh, no. Okay, and I have a caller. Are you there?
Aloha.
Okay, hang on just, I want to hook you up with this, because this is something every year around this time. I don't know if you've been listening to what I had to say about our visitor industry and...
Oh, I'm in tears right now.
So, I know I'm not alone, but I do...
We feel the hurt every freaking day.
Yeah, and he said, yeah. So, what I want, we're about to discuss the Koloa plantation days here, and every year around this time I kind of grind my teeth and I start feeling really upset. I used to teach plantation history at Kauai Museum to the elementary school children back in the day, and it is a very shameful part of our history. What you saw happening in the cotton plantations in the south of the United States is exactly what was going on here, just with differing ethnicities. So essentially, the sugar plantation owners went to the Hawaiian chiefs and said, hey, how's this, okay? We're making millions of dollars here, so how about this? You go get your people to come work for us for 10 cents a year, and you got to wear clothes. You can work 12 hours a day, 6 days a week. You can live on the plantation. You can buy canned goods from the plantation store, and we'll take that out of your dime that you get per year. Oh, and you got to go to church Sunday all day, 12 hours a day, and you cannot speak your language anymore. You cannot dance hula anymore, and you're going to get to just like be part of this whole money-making thing. And how's that sound? And the Hawaiians looked at them and went, crazy. Why would we do that? We get food for all our people. We don't need this thing you calling money. And by the way, sugar is for brush your teeth. When you refine it, it rots your teeth. So the Hawaiians was like, oh, no, thank you. We get them. We're going to just eat our kalo. But you guys go be happy. Do what you like do. Because that's the Hawaiian way, right? We welcome everybody. We tell them we want everyone to be happy. So the Hawaiians went on, and then the missionary families went, those Hawaiians, they're lazy. All right, we'll get some Filipinos and Chinese and Japanese in here and some other guys over here. And they'll work even cheaper than the 10 cents a year. So we'll go bring all those guys over here. And so for any of you, and for me, I'm grateful because, my great-grandmother was a Chinese farm bride. We all have background in the plantation. But if you think in any way, shape, or form it was a fun time to be alive, consider this. If you were pregnant and you were giving birth while you were working in the cane field because you didn't get time off when you were pregnant, and hopefully you came with some shoes on your feet, yeah? You literally went behind the bush, squatted, had your baby, handed it to a missionary lady, and went back to work in the field. So if you're thinking that it was a romantic time, the romance part is because all of these people that came here to visit, they figured out real quick, it's us against them. We're not going to survive. We're making shoes out of rice bags around here. These people don't care if we live or die. They'll just bring more over. We are their slaves. The only way we're going to survive this is if we share our cultures with each other and share our resources amongst us. So that is my historical assessment of the plantation days. A time of lynching and murder and slavery, which came right after the Commonwealth, where everyone was guaranteed a home, food to eat, water to drink, and access to all the resources. When the plantation owners took over, you had the exact opposite, slavery. And this is the horrible, unnice truth about our place over here. And so, brother, when you called me and you told me what you was thinking about the whole Disneyland going on over there, I was like, yes. So you go now. Talk about it.
All right, Justa. Thank you so much. I was just mentioning, I driving daily to and from because we're slaves to that dollar. And I hear the radio ad about the plantation days, and then this pastor, I didn't get his name, he wants to go about and explain to the rest of the people who are visiting, Malihinis and whatnot, and let them know that, this is what happened when the missionaries came, and this is what happened when the plantation era was developed, and this, that. So I'm like thinking to myself, geez, these guys, they're going to miss the whole picture on that, how everything came about. And, I just wanted to put that up there, and I thought, talking to you, Kaiulani, if anybody would understand and see the picture, it's you. Like you said, Hawaii has turned into Disneyland, and it hurts every day, and we still got to work no matter what.
And we're still expected to throw out that aloha.
Oh, and it's ridiculous. And if we don't, they feel like, we're discriminating. We got a hate issue with, like you said, a haole. And then they find out, you mean it doesn't mean white?
Well, this is the whole thing. Like, later on in the show, I hope you'll keep listening. We're going to have a caller call in from Oahu from the Democratic National Convention, the Democratic Party. Because we're going to talk about, this is why I use this hashtag, Poor America. And we are included in that because we are American under duress, right? We're illegally occupied over here. We are at their mercy. So, we're going to be talking about
and real quickly, like, my wife and I, we practically given it all up. We've moved back to the Lo'i. We're up in the valley of Hanapepe, back on our Kuleana, and we just, like the Lord said, go back to the land and I will take care of the rest. Now I've come out to the valley and I got to work in the world and see what's going on. And then I can't wait to get up work because I need to get back up the valley and just be away from everything from Disneyland, like you said. But real quickly, too, I wanted to mention, Kaiulani, is, people have forgotten about Ni'ihau. We did some research on that so-called family. I don't want to mention names, but we know who. Imagine what the Kanaka there went through on an island that was separated by water and had no means of communication. Like, please help! We're being beaten. We're being dragged. We're being held at gunpoint. Who knows what got cut off? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
And I'm sorry if I said anything wrong on the air.
No, you didn't.
Okay,
you're
but,
fine.
People forget about what happened over there too, and it's heavy because, like you said, it was a full plantation era, and we were considered, blacks. And they don't mention it in history, but we just got through Hawaii, and some of the main missionaries, I wish I could remember his name, and how they twisted everything around, and the supremacy just came out because of the greed for the money. And then it's just trickled down to today, what we got to live in. Mm-hmm. Just heartbreaking and heart-wrenching, and the hurt just continues daily because the lie. And you say exactly like how you say about America, too bad America has lost its values.
Yeah. It's all about, to me, having very close contact with our visitors. I get to talk to a lot of people, and I have a lot of time in the car to talk with them. And everything is about their last vacation.
Right.
It seems it seems like that people today, and I don't want to say just Americans, because we have other visitors here too.
Yes.
They get in my car and just like they take a screw gun and screw a hole in my head and suck my brain out. But it to me it seems like today's visitors and a lot of residents, we're so unhappy, and the biggest fear is being bored. The biggest fear is that we might be bored. So we got to go jump in Queen's Bath. Never mind that there's someone dying there every week.
Right.
We got to go into Kalalau Valley, even though there's a hurricane coming. Going.
Right.
Because we don't want to be bored. We constantly got to push that envelope so we can feel alive.
Right. And then they forgot just opening your eyeball and realizing what's around you, looking at the beauty of our land. It's just unbelievable, but no one has slowed down. It's all about that money, that grind, my last vacation, exactly like how you say.
Mm-hmm. How am I going to get there? How am I going to get to go there again?
Right.
Or go somewhere else now. And I wanted to, what I share with our visitors is, so we've established that people are afraid to be bored because then they might have to look inside at the hole in their life. What are they searching for as they travel all the time, and nobody seems to want to stay home anymore or like where they're from, so they all want to come here, and that just tells me, there's a hole somewhere in their hearts because where they're from is just so unhappy and not doing it for them. And then this brings us to the question of what true aloha is. So aloha to me, and how my kupuna's told me about it, is, and this is what I tell our visitors, it's not a human thing. It is not something that human beings generate. It's something we practice. But the true aloha is supernatural power coming up from Papa Honua, the earth, into those human beings that are still connected to her, and then can share that with each other. So it's a three-way communion. It's the two people, one or two or more people, and Papa Honua, and the supernatural realm. So you have the people, the spirit world, and then the physical world. Those three things have to be in play in order to share real aloha. You have to be connected to here. That's why I was laughing when the Hawaii Visitors Bureau said we shouldn't hate the tourists And I was like, okay, well, first of all, 80% of the people working in the visitor industry are not from here. They don't know what is aloha.
It's so true.
So don't be making like us Hawaiians are all fresh out of aloha, although a lot of us are, and maybe once a day even.
Yeah.
You know. So how do we
so
make
true.
now? Okay, here we just laid it all out on the table, and I've been accused of having a sharp tongue. I like to say I'm just very direct. Now what do we do? We're putting this information out there. You share the information with people that this is a real place. We have real families in desperate need right now who don't even have a home. Our families that are actually supporting this industry that is taking from our families this catch-22. We need the money to put the gas in the car, but there's nowhere to live because everything's a vacation rental now. So good thing we're lucky we still got our cars. And then the immigrants that are here that are churning this machine forward are telling us, oh, you should be grateful you're just alive. You know, so now where do we go from here? And I'm hoping that our next guest is going to come in, Brother Guy Holt. And I would love to have you come in too, Kalani. I need to hear from the men that are actually going back to our closest living relative. I asked that question on Facebook the other day. Who is your closest living relative? If you know the answer, you on Hawaiian. And I got all kind of answers, but quite a few people knew the answer, and that is Haloa. Is our closest living relative.
Amen.
Not your mother and not your gods, but Kalo, Haloa. When you know that, then you know what you got to do, what your kuleana is. Then again, we can start to restore the balance. And so I really applaud you for going back to the lo'i. Someone was making fun of me the other day going, what you gonna do? Get your pareo on and go work in the taro patch. And I was like, oh, sounds really good. Sounds really good right now, you know, because that's how it was. Outside your house, you had food, you went to work only a couple hours a day. There was so much food, you never have to slave. No theft because you have access to all the resources. And so what's wrong with that? So I really like to hear from the men that are actually doing it, that are not on the couch, but they're out there interacting with their closest living relative and then teaching that to the younger ones, because we got a lot of guys out there that really need that direction and they're searching hard for it. So Kalani, let's talk. Call me up.
Yeah.
Let's talk about you coming in. I want to hear all about your lo'i and what you guys do over there in Hanapepe. Mahalo
Oh, it
nui.
would be awesome.
Yeah, mahalo nui for calling in this morning.
Okay, aloha, sister. Have
Much
a great
aloha
day.
to you.
You hit it right on the head on everything.
Mahalo nui. Oh, I got to go play this again before I get in trouble.
Raja.
Views
Okay.
and opinions expressed during this program are those of the speaker and do not necessarily reflect those of KKCR, its management, staff, board, members, volunteers, or underwriters.
I pledge allegiance to my people, the Kanaka Maoli of this land. I will care for the Aina as it has cared for my people for generations. I will care for the streams, ocean, and beaches which bring us life. I will always remember our kupuna, those with us and those who have passed. I will continue to olelo Hawaii, to speak my native language. I will be like the shark and boldly protect my heritage. I will be like the olona and bind my people together. I will be like the hawk, always searching beyond the horizon. And above all, I will praise and give thanks to Keakua, maker of all things. Imua! Imua e nā poki. Imua! Imua e nā poki. Imua! Imua e nā poki. Ainu I ka vai ava ava.
same. Another golf course, another high-rise, ain't it insane? Another Hawaiian bites the dust, another family must move. Well, I'm feeling so helpless, I just keep singing the brown man blues. Brown man blues.
Well, I remember a time when me and Papa used to fish, catch a share and head on home, prepare my favorite dish. Son, those days don't come no more, enough fishes before they hit the shore.
While I'm feeling so helpless, I just keep singing the brown man blues. Look what's happened, look around. Look who's running this crazy town. Look who's making all the laws. Look who ends up with it all.
Friends and faces that I used to know.
Friends I used to know.
Wondering if they're still around or if they hit the road.
Hit the road.
If they leave on their own free will, or just because they couldn't pay the bill.
Well, I'm feeling so helpless, I just keep singing the brown man blues. Would you work it out and what would you do? Much would you take if it were you? Fed up with the changes that come with time. Look to the source, to a new nation's rise. Well, every day I look around me, nothing looks the same.
Another golf course, another high-rise, ain't it insane?
Another Hawaiian bites the dust, another family must move. Well, I'm feeling so helpless, I just keep singing the brown man blues. Brown man blues.
Well, they're taking all the slippers.
Sun has been waiting.
They're taking all the clothes.
Waiting is turning.
Living in a tent.
Sun has been waiting.
'Cause nothing ever holds brown man. I'm tired and I'm angry.
Sun has been waiting.
I'm being pushed around.
Waiting is turning.
You better watch your step.
Sun has been waiting.
I'm gonna stand my ground.
Brown man blues. Brown man blues. Sun is waiting.
And
Music by O'Brien Eselu. None of Us Are Free off his album Maka, produced in the year 2000. The year Uncle Butch Kikahu went and marched in Washington Square. Aloha March 2000. You can check it out on the internet. KKCR Hanalei KAQA Kilauea. It's the Songs of Sovereignty, broadcasting live K224CQ Anahola, K284AL Haleiwa, 90.9 FM Hanalei, 91.9 Island-wide, 92.7 Anahola Moloa'a, 104.7 Oahu, 95.1 on the cable, and streaming worldwide on the web at kkcr.org. Programs like Songs of Sovereignty are made possible by listeners like you, in partnership with Hawai'i Kauai and Kamoa Ukulele.
Heiva is a celebration of Tahitian culture. The 15th annual Hawai'i Kauai Yorana Tahiti will be held at Kapa'a Beach Park on August 6th and 7th. Gates open at 9 a.m., opening ceremony at 10 a.m. 2 days of dance and drumming competitions with Polynesian artists, cultural demonstrations, jewelry and accessories direct from Tahiti, silent auction, and island foods. New this year, there is an amateur youth group category for contestants under 19. Award-winning Honolulu Tahitian dance group Te Vai Uranui provides house drumming and exhibition dancing on both days. Sponsored by HTA and the County of Kauai. For more info and ADA, 822-9447 or heivaikauai.com.
And just so you know, it's spelled Heiva, Heiva'i Kauai, if you want to check that out on the internet. Mahalo nui loa for supporting Kauai Community Radio.
The views and opinions expressed during this program are those of the speaker and do not necessarily reflect those of KKCR, its management, staff, board, members, volunteers, or underwriters.
Everybody have their own wrinkle on that song, you know. I'm going to tell you something about don't get hoo-hoo now. My grandfather, he was an old hayseed from Missouri. And he came out to Hawaii with a militia that overthrew the Hawaiian government. So don't come mad now. But he more than made up for that because he married a Hawaiian lady and they had 8 wonderful children. And my father was one. When I sing Kaulana Napua, I think of the time sitting and talking with my grandpa. He took care of the stables at Kaiulani Barracks, hitched up the horses, you know, and pulled the freight and did all that kind of stuff because he was a farm boy. He knew how to do all that stuff. But when I sing this song here, I think of his tales. He said when he was at Kaiulani Barracks, I felt sad. I said, why? He said, I felt sad for that queen. He says, here we came, and he said they dethroned her, and he says, what really what really touched me, he said, the fact that the people, he said, when she was in the palace up there, and once or twice a day she'd come out where they could see her, he says, but here were the people gathered, throngs of people gathered there because this was their queen. They chanted and they sang the feelings that they had in their heart at that time because they were being robbed of their queen. He says that they were trying to give her a message, tell the queen what was in their hearts. And I believe this is some of the thoughts. He says, "Aolea ikaw ikapulima," he says, "maluna o ka pepa o ka enemi. Ho'ohui aina ku ai heva ikapono sivila o kekanaka." You know, thoughts like this here. Do not fix your signature to the paper of the enemy. To do so, you'd be robbing us of our native civil rights. How true. Aole mako e mina i ka puukala o ke au puni se. Walava mako i ka po haku i ka ai ka mahau i ka aina i se. O ka aina i se. Here's these people, foreigners. They come to our shores. They got money. They come to buy us up. He says, but we're not for sale. Don't sell the land. He says, we rather live here, eat rocks if we must, rather than sell this land. And later on, when I read this song, I said, gee, these are the things that my grandfather talked about.
ka enemi o hui aina ku ai hewa I ka pono sivila o ke kanaka Haolea e kau I ka pulima Haluna o ka pepa o ka enemi O hui aina ku ai hewa I ka pono sivila o ke kanaka
KKCR Hanalei KAQA Kilauea. And this is a mix of music by Project Kuleana. So if you go to YouTube, you can type in Kaiulani Mahuka and see all of our different wonderful musicians' collaborations in this film. And they're all being filmed in different areas as well. So it's really a great video to watch. The song itself, well, Uncle Kendi explained it before I played it. But it is essentially the song that became the battle cry for the Hawaiian people at the time that the Queen was overthrown and put in prison. Essentially, the sugar plantation owners held a gun to her head and had the military pointing guns on the city of Honolulu and the palace of Iolani. And they said, if you don't get off your throne, we're going to kill every last Hawaiian. We're going to murder every Hawaiian here. So she did, and the rest is history. If you're looking to expand your knowledge of Hawaii, you can visit hawaiiankingdom.org and see the true political history of Hawaii. And Kaiulani Mahuka, I would say, is one of our most famous sovereignty songs written at the time of the overthrow. Kaiulani Mahuka means famous are the flowers. And the flowers, of course, are the people, those throngs of people that loved their queen so much. And they would actually get news to her. The Hawaiian newspapers, they would wrap flowers in newspapers. And so that's how the song came into being from that. Real bad technical difficulties around here. Who took the headsets out of here? I want them back. Anyway, Kaiulani Mahuka, written by Ellen Wright Pendergast back in 1893 at the time of the overthrow. And you're listening to KKCR Hanalei KAQA Kilauea K224CQ Anahola K284AL Haleiwa.
The views and opinions expressed during this program are those of the speaker and do not necessarily reflect those of KKCR, its management, staff, board, members, volunteers, or underwriters.
And I want to say a big mahalo to Brother Dave, who just brought me in 5 fabulous sugarloaf pineapples. So, my tiras that I'm going to see later on, you're going to get to have some fresh pineapple this morning. And that's another way to kuleana, grow food. Just grow food and give it away. I love that. All right. Let's get back to our music. In a few minutes, we're going to have our Hawaiian word of the day. I have not heard from Brother Guy Holt. You can check him out on Facebook, Guy Holt. He's one of our men that are doing kuleana. And we wanted to get into a discussion of what kuleana really is and how you too, wherever you are, wherever you're at in your life, can step into your kuleana. So hopefully Brother's going to still come into the studio today. Also want to send my aloha out to Brother Rob listening in over in Cali. We're so sorry for your loss, brah. Sending you mana and prayers from Mano Kalanipo. Want to say hellos to everyone listening in online this morning. We have quite a few worldwide listeners online this morning. Let's see how many countries listening in. Switzerland, Germany, France, Canada, Japan, and the United States. Mahalo nui to the world for tuning in to Songs of Sovereignty, also known as SOS. And earlier you might have heard my little discussion about the visitor industry and what's happening here in Hawaii, the unchecked development, the taking of our resources, the banishment of the Hawaiian people from their places of resource, the lack of access, the overcrowding, the failure of infrastructures happening, all due to the visitor industry that we are so dependent on. And really, the government is to blame. We don't have laissez-faire anymore in America, right? So, it's government working hand in hand with big business and corporations. And darn it, they just don't care if you kill a reef to put in a golf course. So this is the discussion that we're happening. If you're a visitor here on Kauai, I want to welcome you to our island. I hope you have a wonderful time here. Please stay out of Queen's Bath. And if there is a hurricane warning, please do not go hike into Kalalau and then we got to rescue you and pay for your rescue. Be safe while you're here. Enjoy yourselves. And if you can, meet some local people so you can experience something real while you're here. There's a lot of goodies out there, a lot of stores, a lot of tours, it's like a country fair kind of thing going on here on Kauai. I want to encourage you to connect. If you're a visitor, I want to encourage you to connect with a Hawaiian. Go meet some Hawaiians. I want to encourage you to visit HawaiianKingdom.org so you can see the true political history of our islands. And visitors, if you like Kauai the way it is right now, you have the power to help us. SOS, we need your help, honest Americans. You can visit the Hawaii Visitors Bureau website and give them your feedback about the lack of infrastructure, no sidewalks, horrible roads. Give them your feedback. I always encourage my guests to say, simply, I really like it the way it is now. It would be a shame to further develop the place. The reason we come here is because it looks like it does right now. You don't need no more hotel rooms. You don't need more vehicles on the road. What you need is to realize you are at capacity here and work within the framework of not hurting the earth any further for money. All right, let's go to some Big Island conspiracy. I want to send this one out to Tita Sandy this morning listening in. Mahalo nui for always listening to Songs of Sovereignty, Sandy. This one's called Willie Bright. We're the evidence, not the crime. And if we do say what we think and feel about what's happening in our home, it is absolutely not a crime.
He comes from the house of Aina. Let the bloods in. Kapukawehi kona mama's house. She wonders where he's been. Said he's been to the house of a foreign design. Them near lost his connect of mine. Said he know now that justice is blind. We the evidence, not the crime. We the evidence, not the crime. We the evidence.
evidence, not the crime. Says you've been to the house of foreign design. Damn near lost this connect of mine. Said you know now that justice is blind. To this very day he continues to look for the answer to the problem in the holy, holy book. Was it cosmic intervention or Anglo malice? We recognize it was no shocking drive. U.S. forces on the native life. No cosmic intervention was the Christian need for world domination. We the evidence, not the crime. We are the evidence, not the crime. That's right. We are the evidence, not the crime. Have you heard? We are the evidence, not the crime. We recognize it was no shocking jive. U.S. forces on the native lines. No cosmic intervention was a Christian need for world domination. Me, I'm from the house of Aina. We'll resist with the strength of the elders gone. Holding to the promise of the children to come. And greet each morning, connect our sons and daughters. I really think you ought to get off your duffs and holler. Resist. Be the evidence, not the crime. We just the evidence, not the crime. That's right. We just the evidence, not the crime. Have you heard? We just the evidence, not the crime. Sons and daughters, I really think you ought to get off your duffs and holler. Resist, 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 resist.
When Lili Uhokalani locked in her palace prayed to the Lord Almighty, I wonder what she said. Was it bless our home and people, keep them safe from harm? Friends have now betrayed us. We did them no wrong. They were our friends and allies. We let them come in peace. Help me to forgive those whose hearts are filled with greed. Does anybody hear our Queen's unanswered prayers? Our Queen's unanswered prayers. Our Queen's unanswered prayers. I can see our royal queen praying on humble knees, so all alone. Can you imagine that, being told your sovereign land's no longer home? Tell me who is wrong. Lili Uhokalani, loyal will remain. Kings and queens before us, we vow to do the same. 100 years have come and gone now. Time is close at hand. Oh, younger generations, heed the call and stand. We'll restore our lawful nation, all natives of our land. Reclaim our given birthrights, the rights of every man. Every nation soon will hear our Queen's unanswered prayers. Friends and allies will adhere to our Queen's unanswered prayers. Our Queen's unanswered prayers. Our Queen's unanswered prayers. Our Queen's unanswered prayers.
Oh, honest Americans, as Christians, hear me for my downtrodden people. Their form of government is as dear to them as yours is as precious to you. Quite warmly as you love your country, so they love theirs. With all your goodly possessions covering a territory so immense that there yet remain parts unexplored, possessing islands that, although new at hand, had to be neutral ground in time of war, do not covet the little vineyard of Naboth, so far from your shores, lest the punishment of Ahab fall upon you, if not in your day, in that of your children. For be not deceived, God is not mocked. The people whom your fathers told of the living God and taught to call Father, and now whom the sons now seek to despoil and destroy, are crying aloud to him in their time of trouble. And he will keep his promise and will listen to the voices of his Hawaiian children, lamenting for their homes.
KKCR Honolulu, KAQA Kilauea. Our Queen's Unanswered Prayers from our beloved Mike Young. Mike, I know you're in my backbone and you're watching us from with all of our kupuna that have passed on. And Auntie Nani just came in and told me that Auntie Dora Swain has passed on. So I just wanted to say my condolences and give my love to the Swain family. All right, I've got a listener. I've got a really dear friend hanging on here online. Good morning to you, young lady. Where are you and what are you doing?
Good rising. I am just sitting in the car outside of the courthouse here on Kauai. And yeah, I just want to call you out, Kaiulani, and thank you for your beautiful show always. And I just was like, when was the last time I've been in this courtroom? And, well, it was a different room, but at the courthouse. Oh, yeah, I was remembering when I came to help be present and support you and Auntie Puanani when the Nale case was happening. And I just want to say, so that's been years ago, sitting in his courtroom, I just sitting in the room listening, and okay, I see like 8 computer screens in one courtroom, 8 computer screens. That's first. I'm like, okay, where? And then I'm like, start thinking about my garden, because I just come to support my friends, you know, and like be present. But then I'm thinking like, gosh, these people and the people ahead of us, you know, you just hear these things and they use the terms like, if you have business to do here and we're of service to you. And so there, it's just, I just wanted to call in and like shine light on the fact that this court system does not work. It's taking people out of gardens. You know, it's just wasting our time. I don't know what the solution is. I just wanted to call in and be a voice to say, like, it's just, it's, you know, it's frustrating. It's very frustrating.
There's no justice.
There's no justice. And they call it the Justice House. And, like, the guy ahead of us in line when we had to go to the little counter first, and he's, like, telling them he has, like, 3 different tickets, 3 different court dates. He's like, what, you know, and, it, you know, I'm just hearing people, you know, and I hear people, I'm a translator from Washington, but I hear them talking in, they're Hawaiians, you know, they're coming here and they're like, okay, so, and then the other people at the other window were from Oahu, and they just didn't have insurance. They didn't have insurance. And so they had to go get insurance, bring the paper in, and they're just from Oahu. And I'm thinking, guys, they come over from Hawaii from Oahu.
I know, it's really,
they're at the courthouse.
It's really overwhelming, isn't it? That house of justice where nobody gets really any real justice unless you have money.
Yeah, it's really nothing.
That's what happened in that case where you sat in. That guy sued us for me and 1 to 200 John and Jane Does for telling the world that he was building a vacation rental on our sacred graveyard. And at the end of it, he got his way entirely. And you know what he asked for his settlement, Isha? Do you remember? $1. We went to court for 2 years with this rich guy. Yeah. And in the end, he was like, I win. I only want $1. Anyway, thanks for calling in this morning, young lady.
We love you. Aloha.
Aloha.
The views and opinions expressed during this program are those of the speaker and do not necessarily reflect those of KKCR, its management, staff, board, members, volunteers, or underwriters.
And it's time for our Hawaiian word of the day. And I just have to say, okay, as a Native person, as a Native tenant, as a descendant of a ruling chiefly family, I have to say that the crazy dizzy land that has been created out of our Aina over here can be super overwhelming because it's such a, is dichotomy the right word, or paradigm? You're in Hawaii and you go to the store to get some souvenirs and they're from Bali or China. You go on a tour to go see the places here and your guide's from Iowa. You go to the beach and there's no Hawaiians on the beach. There's no hukilau. There's no black pots boiling. So the heart of Kauai, the heart of Hawaii, is really very hidden. And that is the word that I chose today for our Hawaiian word of the day. The word heart. In Hawaiian, it is pu'uwai. And the Hawaiian word of the day has been brought to you for years now by the Malie Foundation, the proud producer of the Kauai Mokihana Festival. Get a headphone and a microphone, Auntie Nani. Auntie Nani has joined me here. And we're going to play in Ha'ena later on. Yes. If you're in Ha'ena and you're a visitor, you're going to see some Hawaiians on the beach today. Okay, take pictures.
Auntie Louise, we're looking for her.
Yes, and Auntie Louise, you need a headphones, Auntie. Auntie Louise is going to join us as well. So, okay. Malie Foundation, Hawaiian Word of the Day. And for information on the Malie Foundation, you can Google them online or you can call 822-2166. And I chose the word pu'uwai. And pu'uwai in Hawaiian means heart. And if you are sitting in the restaurant down in Hanalei that has the view of the mountains, Namolokama with Waioli waterfalls, Mamalahoa. Okay, so it's Hihimanu, Namolokama, and Mamalahoa. They have been called the heart.
Oh, yeah.
The heart.
They could be.
And Namolokama looks like a heart.
Yes.
A broken heart because Shigewan waterfall coming down the middle.
Yeah.
It looks just like a broken heart. And here in the Napuke Vehevehi Olelo Hawaii, it says that the word heart is pu'uwai, P-U-O-K-I-N-A-U-W-A-I. Or it can be iho, like if you're talking about the core like of a vegetable.
The iho?
The iho.
I-H-O.
It's like the heart of celery or the heart of palm.
Or the romaine lettuce.
Is the iho. Okay. I'o is the heart of wood. The central part of wood. I'o.
I'o.
Mm-hmm. Haka is in a deck of cards. Queen of Haka? Oh. Okay, so figurative words are na'au. So we say that, the heart of the matter. Mm-hmm. For Hawaiians, the na'au is really your heart, and that's actually your guts, right?
It's your guts.
Loko is like
na'au.
The water source, the pond.
Yes, that's right. Loko i'a.
Yep. Poli, your bosom.
Oh.
Where the heart is. But this is figurative ways of saying heart, yeah? Iko poli.
Yes.
Oh, my sweetheart, you stay in my poli. Ooh.
That's a lot in our hulas. Mm-hmm. The poli, and the motion is over here by the heart.
Yeah. Umauma is more the manly.
Yeah.
It's your the man breast. Right? Umauma. And manava, referring to time.
Time. Manava now.
Yeah. Also a pu'u koko, mauli, o ili also refers to the heart.
What is the last one?
O ili.
O ili?
O ili. Yeah.
Oh.
And this is my favorite one, generous heart. Manavalea.
Oh my.
When you have a generous heart.
Manavalea.
Yes. Manavalea. Your generous heart. And that's your Hawaiian word of the day.
So poetical, yeah.
Hawaiian language
it's so amazing.
Is the bomb.
Yes, it is.
It is. And I don't speak it very well. I've studied it over the years.
I try, though, all the time.
My problem is I get caught up in German. German's my second language. Hawaiian is my third language. So
what is English?
It's not.
You wish it wasn't.
Pidgin is my first language. Sorry, Mom. My mom. Don't talk like that. Don't speak that way. Correct English. And
it's a legal language now. Pidgin is.
And at the time of the overthrow in 1893. It had been enacted into law that you had to be educated and literate. So 98% literacy rate at the time of the illegal overthrow of our queen. In English.
In English?
Now that's a heart of a people.
Yes.
When 98%, I don't know if anywhere in the world has ever come close to having a 98% literacy rate.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Mahalo to our mo'i, our kings and queens that made sure that we got educated. They were so far ahead of their time anyway.
Yes.
Kalakau was amazing. He traveled the world.
They all did. Educated in England, Oxford University.
Yes, they were very educated. You could tell in the way they write.
Not the monkeys.
That they're portrayed
plantation
as.
Owners said that our queen was a monkey.
Oh.
In the Washington Post, they wrote that. The Monkey Queen.
Was there a illustration?
Yes. A cartoon of her.
Oh, my.
I have to go Google it. I'll put it up on Songs of Sovereignty.
Okay.
But,
that's sad. I love so much our queen.
Mm-hmm. And one of the main things.
What I do now, it was because of her and because of our love and honor and respect for her.
Mm-hmm.
She was a mighty woman.
An amazing mentor. Amazing mentor. And one of the things that I have come to know as my mission is to share this information with our visitors. Who we are, what's really truly going on here.
Yes.
What we, the Hawaiian people, feel and think about what's happening here. And then, you still gonna come and support us over here? I don't know. If you know the truth, that's one of the fears, is if I say too much, we not gonna get the support from the visitors. So,
well, just speak the truth.
That's what I do.
That's all. That's the only way. Speak the truth. Make aloha precede everything you do and say, if possible.
Well, I wanted to address, I've been talking about that post that I put up, that Princeville is the ha'ole heart.
I never see him.
Okay, so what I meant by that is it leaves you breathless. Ha'ole means without breath. And, the what I see happening up here is like the microcosm of the visitor industry in Hawaii. And by the way, we got people dying up here too. They continue to go to Queen's Bath, which is our very sacred place. And
come on, tourists, read the signs.
Continue to hike into Kalalau. And I personally picked up people that had been airlifted out yesterday or day before yesterday. And I don't know if you visitors understand that we pay for your rescues. We pay for your whole vacation. Yeah, we make some money. Now remember, minimum wage is still $7.25 around here. So we make a little money off of your visit. And we do get to share our aloha. And what I like to call, well, my first instinct is always to welcome and come on, let's enjoy together. That's that spirit that we have, you know, us.
But
us
now
Kanakas.
we're finding out that there are limitations.
Yes. But we are at capacity, really, truly. And so we need all our visitors to rally behind the Hawaiian people. We are in trouble.
Help us.
And we need your assistance. We need your help. We need you to know the true history of Hawaii and what has gone down around here. And I want to read this letter from our queen. And it's one of her letters that this is an official letter of protest. This is not the red ribbon letter that we just refiled.
Right.
But this is one of her letters. And then following that, Auntie, we're going to close the show with Frank B. Shaner.
Oh.
So we can crack up, laugh, and go about our day.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's the thing I want to encourage Kanakas.
Okay, but just
still be happy.
Right.
Still laugh, okay? All right, so here's her letter.
But I want to say one thing.
Okay, going.
The word haole.
Okay, going back to the word haole.
Yeah, and that's because there might be two meanings, because maybe there's one that has an okina that makes it haole, or it's without an okina, which is haole, which simply means foreigner. And you know, and then you've got your definition of what haole means, and I'm not sure if there is an okina there, but I can see where there could be a definition of that word in that sense, because of
mosquitoes,
the impacts of the haoles in our lives, right?
Yeah, and anyone can be a haole. And I have gone there myself plenty times.
Okay. There's no race or color. A haole is just somebody with
soulless.
Yeah. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
And so, you know, that's the whole deal, is that word. It's really just a word. I mean,
I think you just invented it.
Well, I know I start feeling really like sucked dry. I work up here in Princeville. And the word that comes to mind these days is darting. Darting. They're darting out in traffic. They're walking out from behind cars. Their children are running out into the road. It's just this unchecked darting. And
playing Pokemon.
Every time I go into the parking lot, I'm in danger with my big black Suburban of getting hit. Hey, I want to say aloha to Doug and Dawn listening in over in DC this morning.
Aloha, dear ones.
Yeah. And also to Lenny. Lenny says, love your show. You always say what I'm thinking, and I hope to meet you someday, Kaiulani.
Hey, who's that?
And here's Tita Louise. Hang on.
Okay. Quantitative.
So Tita Louise is on the air right now. I was going to read the Queen's letter, but this is even better. Having you give us an update on the Ha'ena Master Plan meeting and just your wonderful mana'o. Good morning, sister.
Aloha, everybody.
Aloha.
You know, the one thing is I was invited to go down there, and I promised myself to kapu my aloha, because it's eha to me, you know. So I went, and of course, you know me, I got to go check out the sites and everything. So checked it out, got my paperwork, and all I could do is cry. You know? And then
I do know
checked out where they're going to cattle the tourists and us too. You know, now because of the impact down there, you know, we, the host culture, are stuck with their plans, you know, because there's people that are willing to give up their rights to the lands and allow handouts from the state and the federal government. For what? So they can go get more, put in more proposals and tell us what to do with our land. That is, you know, not standing behind your queen. And, you know, you don't feel welcome when you go over there. It's just...
Yes, some of them won't even look at me.
You know, it's inclusive, exclusive, you know, and it's not the right way. Government always tries to find somebody to be their mascot, and their word is God. You know, so, you know, I held my mug and everything, and as I was walking out, you know, I was asked, oh, how are you? And I was just like, not so good. Oh, you should be happy. You're breathing, you're walking, you know, you're blessed. I held my kapu aloha, and, hey, okay, that's what you think. And then the next thing was, what? Change? You cannot deal with change?
Yeah, the thing is, it's not change, it's desecration.
Exactly.
That's what they tell themselves so they can go sleep after they stuff themselves at the table feeding at the trough.
It's desecration, it's decimation, it's genocide. You know? And, hey, I'm upset because our people are not standing in the Lahui. We have people that are selling us out. You know, there's this Aulani Kaihui. Her banners are all over the place. You know, Kaihui, that means to steal. Why is she going to pick that name for? You know? And people that are non-Hawaiians that are going to be voting on OHA, they see these names, so that's what they remember, and that's what they vote. Non-Hawaiians and Hawaiians, if you don't know who's who in the zoo, no vote for them. If you know who it is, and they're for the Lahui, then you vote for them. You know, we need to shut down OHA. And
you saw I was teasing everyone. I said I was going to run for OHA, and my first thing I would do is audit OHA. Second thing I would do is make the state pay back all the money they've stolen from the trust. And then the third thing I would do would be to shut down OHA. And everybody was like, that's it. That's the platform right there.
Yeah, simple, you know. But when you ask a Hawaiian how they're feeling and they're not feeling too good, you know, why ask if you don't like hear the answer? You know, that's my problem. Why people ask me stuff if they don't want to hear the answer? And, you know, I kept to my word, but as I was walking on the road back to KA to my car, you know, there's a lot of these tourists that are just, because somebody else did, I can too. They park illegally underneath no parking sign.
I tell you, like they can read.
You know, I kind of lost it walking back. And the question was, what does that sign say? And they would read it. And, you know, the signs and these laws came from America. You guys is American. What, you know, follow your laws. Showing your children how to disrespect the laws because you can. And what? Oh, you take the fine. Well, you ain't paying the fine, $38. They don't care if they pay $38, government. Charge them $50. But I noticed after I went off all the way down the road and coming back, there was 3 kids leaning up against the van under the no parking sign. One was a Harvard University shirt, one was a Stanford University shirt, and the other one was Alabama University. So I asked him, oh, you guys is university kids. You guys, akamai, you're intelligent. What does the sign say right behind you? They all turn around and they say, no parking. What don't you understand about no parking? So the mother comes around and she's like, well, hey, you know what? You effing sheeple. You guys follow everybody else. You guys break the laws. Now you're impacting my area. Now I'm losing my area to the state and the federal because lame people are willing to, oh, they're going to help us. Hello, didn't you guys learn already? The government is here because to protect us. Protect us from what? From the military bases that we are being aimed at by China and all the other countries? Now we have RIMPAC, and they're all invited. I don't understand this, you know? Kill me with your chemtrails, kill me with your GMO, and it's all good. You know, it's really sad, and people...
It's Disneyland. That's what I'm talking about. Disneyland.
Yeah, the people, they see local people.
That's okay. We can go out to dinner.
Yeah, they're playing in the river. You know, we've got our families watching these kids intensely because it could get intense. And then they come walk down the beach and they think it's fine. So they let their kids go in without checking it themselves. Now the kid is getting into trouble. Let him go. Let him. Oh, no, save my kid. Make up your mind, bro. You like us save him, you like us let him go. You know?
Yep, I know.
Don't get in the water unless you know.
All right, well...
I just wanted to share that. You know, don't ask the question if you don't want to hear the answer.
Right?
Your answer is not where we're coming from. Your answer is totally wrong. And my eha is because I stand for the Queen and our lands, and I always will. Speak the truth. You don't need to remember what lies you said.
Right on. Love you, Louise. It's
all in the choice of words, yeah. So I love you guys, my, warrior Nakoa women. Yes, we did get a stir up on the internet on you running for OHA.
Wasn't that fun?
Shake them up a little bit. Make them
I really should run for OHA next time around because that's what I would do. I would shut it down. End of story. Get the money back and shut it down. Think of if we shut down OHA, think of all the different funding we're going to shut down. All the people who have been sticking their hands in the cookie jar and just stealing cookies for years and years, we'd cut them off from their funding source.
Hey, we told them.
You gotta watch out too, because we get them in, they have the right intentions, but once they get inside there, oh man, change their act once the money start rolling.
Well,
so
we cannot shut them down until we have people to replace it. So I think
I think shut them down anyway.
No, but then we got to fill the gap. But wait, I got to say something. Okay, I think all I got to do is just to step out of the fake state box.
Yeah, but they're being paid by the state now. Their salaries come from the state now.
We don't care.
So that's the whole.
We don't care.
That's the whole sickening part. Is here you have a private trust.
They got to be a non-state.
You have a private trust that's being governed by the state of Hawaii, and they're helping themselves to the money.
And remember now, don't get sick because we're still fighting for our trust to come back on Queen's Hospital. You know.
Well, that's, this is Brother Andrew here. And
Queen's Hospital, we got to get them back in track because all Hawaiians supposed to have free medical through Queen's Hospital.
Well, if you're Hawaiian, you're not going to get nothing. You got to be Kanaka.
Okay, that's another discussion.
You know what?
Anyway,
You know
we're
what,
out of
Andrew?
time.
You know what, Andrew? The whole thing is, everybody, we know what we're talking about, so don't down talk somebody because you said Hawaiian, Kanaka Maoli, whatever. We all know where we came from, and whatever it is, that's what it is.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, absolutely,
We
Louise,
need to
you're
respect
right.
each other on that, you know?
Yep.
We're all Kanaka Maoli. Whatever you want to call yourself, that's what you are. You're Hawaiian, I'm Lahui, and that's what it is.
But anyway, we're out of time right now, so I'm just trying to wrap this up where we've got
Okay, I
about
love
6
you guys.
minutes. I'll
Sorry.
see you later on. I got some stuff for you. So Auntie Nani's coming out to the house. So we'll see you
Okay,
later
cool.
on, Tita. Love you.
Okay, aloha.
Love you. And we've got 7 minutes left in the show. And she's right. You know, we can't be getting hung up on labels and all of that stuff. I'm going to just play one more song for you. We've run out of time for Frank B. Shaner. We'll do it next week. And here's some Weldon Ke Kauoha for you.
My people came from across the sea, from a distant land called people are we. We rode on canoes, traveled by the moon and stars at night, crossed the ocean blue. Navigator made our path just right, set our feet upon the sand, 'cause we're Polynesian. Indigenous, can't you see? Kanaka Maoli, can't you see that? But that was so long ago, my friend, when spirits used to roam the land. But that was just a tale, they say. Those stories all went to the grave. The kings and queens of yesterday ruled with a mighty hand, they say. Yeah, but the people lived in harmony. It all seems like a dream to me. My people came from across the sea, from a distant land, proud people are we. We rode on canoes, traveled by the moon and stars at night, crossed the ocean blue. Navigator made our path just right, set our feet upon the sand, 'cause we're Polynesian. Indigenous, can't you see? Kanaka Maoli, can't you see that? Then one day some strangers came with new ideas, their values weren't the same. They brought disease to one and all, and made us slaves to alcohol. Many of our people died. They could never, ever take our pride. The ownership of land was new, and they took advantage of that too. My people came from across the sea, from a distant land, proud people are we. We rode on canoes, traveled by the moon and stars at night, crossed the ocean blue. Navigator made our path just right, set our feet upon the sand, 'cause we're Polynesian.
You You're listening to KKCR Hanalei, KAQA Kilauea, the Songs of Sovereignty with Kaiulani, broadcasting now 12 years from Kauai Community Radio, 90.9 FM Hanalei, 91.9 Island-wide, 92.7 Anahola Moloa'a, 104.7 FM on Oahu, 95.1 on the cable, and streaming worldwide on the web at kkcr.org. Coming up is Democracy Now! Whew. To me, it's amazing that this show follows my show. And I'm still looking forward to getting an answer to my emails, Amy Goodman. Democracy Now! And programs like Democracy Now! Are made possible by listeners like you in partnership with the Greenery Cafe.